I've always loved art. Even when I was little, I was always drawing or coloring something. The older I got, the more my artwork improved. When I was in the fourth grade, I began taking art classes. This is when I learned how to sketch and create my own detailed pictures. After I mastered sketching, I graduated to oil pastels. These add color to a sketch that can be mixed like no other medium. I began bringing my sketches to life using oil pastels and acrylic paint. Next, my art teacher pointed me in a different direction and taught me how to build clay models to help with the shading and dimensions of my sketches. It's safe to say that I've always been involved in art. I've used several different mediums over the years, but there's one medium that stood out above the rest. One of my favorite things to do when I was younger was to make space paintings with spray paint. I got the idea from the internet and it seemed easy enough, so I wanted to give it a try. It's amazing how vibrant and detailed these paintings turn out with very little effort. Usually these paintings only take about 5 minutes to complete, but if you saw the finished product, you would think it took hours. The first step in making a space painting is to outline your planets on the poster board. You can use anything with a circular bottom, such as the cap from a spray paint can or a Tupperware lid. Position the caps and lids wherever you want the planets to be on the board and lightly mist around the edges with black paint. Once you remove the caps, there will be faint circles where the planets will be. Next, choose the colors you want your planets to be. You can use anywhere from 2 to 5 colors for each planet. Begin layering the colors from lightest to darkest on the faint circles where the planets will be. For the third step, you will need a few pieces of newspaper or any other paper material. I've found that glossy magazine paper works best for me. Immediately after you finish layering your colors, crinkle the paper and mash it down into the wet spray paint. Then carefully pull the paper back up. This will leave a unique textured look that goes through all the layers of color. This gives the finished product a detailed look. The fourth step is probably the easiest part. After you've made your texture, put the caps back where they were before on top of the textured paint and spray the rest of the poster board black. Now comes the fun part. This is when you add stars, space dust, or comets to your painting. I make stars by spray painting my fingertips with white spray paint and flicking the paint across the poster board. I make space dust by carefully and lightly misting bright colors across the painting. Finally, I make comets by placing the white spray paint can upside down where the nozzle is resting on the poster board, and I make a quick spray that shoots out across the board. All of these add to the realism of the finished product. The fifth step is probably the best part. This is when you remove the caps and see the planets you've created. If you did all the steps correctly, you should have vibrantly colored and incredibly realistic planets set in your own personal cosmos. The last step is to do any lighting or shading to the planets that will add to the realism of the dimensions. After that, you're finished. It's just that easy to make these incredibly realistic space paintings. At first glance, it may seem impossible for just anyone to paint these paintings, but it's really very quick and easy. Using these steps, even the most artistically challenged person can make their own eye-popping solar system. This is my first painting that I made with spray paint using these steps, and it only took about 5 minutes.